The case of Gabby Petito took the world by storm in August of 2021. She was only 22 when her life was taken far too soon by her fiance, Brian Laundrie. They were traveling together in a van life journey across the U.S., and this trip was scheduled to take place 4 months and began on July 2nd, 2021. But she would disappear August 27th, 2021. Welcome back to the True Crime Lounge podcast, where we talk about murder and other forms of crime. I do have a Patreon that you can join. By joining, you'll receive early access to episodes scheduled to come out. For any updates on my podcast or channel, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. I believe I forgot about that one. Anyway, for any I do have a merch shop that you can go check out as well, and I will link it in the description below, so you can go get your true crime merch. Now, with that being said, let's dive into today's episode here on the TCL podcast. Today we are going to be doing a TCL special. For those of you that are new here, it's not really the TCL specials, or I like to call. I want them on my channel at the same time I want them on my podcast. So they're on both. So you can catch it if you're watching this from either YouTube or if you're catching this from Spotify. Now, with that now with that being said, I normally do not talk about cases like this. I try to stay away from mainstream as much as I can because it's still active in the case. But with Gabby Petito's family settling, I feel like now is the right time to do it. And the thing with this case is I will do my best to be as unbiased as possible, but this case took the world and divided the internet after his death was confirmed. See, here's the thing. I believe he is somewhere in Mexico or Canada, avoiding the consequences of his actions with the help of his parents. There's just like so many things. Like it's like this case just ended with a pretty little bow, and like that does not sit well with me for some reason. Now, if it is true, he is dead. Rest in peace. But I'm trying to be I'll be as unbiased with this case as much as possible. But guys, here's the thing. If you comment, please remember that there are families that are still grieving for the loss of this beautiful young woman because her life was taken way too soon. Now, and if you know someone who is in an abusive relationship or if you are, get out. Don't, or help someone get out. Someone's always going to be there to help you. Okay? Just don't stay in there unless you have to. Now, let's dive into the case of Gabby Petito. After Gabby disappeared, her fiance raised suspicion when he would drive the van back from Wyoming back to Florida, where he refused to talk about her whereabouts. He was also deemed a person of interest in the case, and even an arrest warrant was issued on the charges of the withdrawals of using her debit card. He would leave home September 13th, be reported missing 4 days later. Trying to be as unbiased as I can on this case, I promise y'all. But on September 19th, her remains were found in Wyoming and at the Bridger-Teton National Park. An autopsy would be found that she was killed by blunt force injuries to her head and neck and manual strangulation. After a month of speculation around Laundrie's whereabouts and his extended search in the area around his home, his skeletal remains were discovered in the Florida's Creek Environmental Park in October 20th. If I butchered that name, I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names. I promise you I did practice trying to pronounce it, and again, I apologize. Now, it was confirmed by autopsy on November 22nd that Laundrie had died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. And the FBI announced that he had admitted to killing Gabby Petito in his notebook, which was found near his temples. Before we go into the timeline, let's talk about who Gabby was for a minute. Why was her life taken way too soon? Why would someone take a beautiful young girl who had the whole world ahead of her? Now, Gabby was born Gabrielle Veneur Petito on March 19, 1999, in Blue Point, New York. She was the oldest of six children, and six, and her and her stepbrother appeared in a music video to raise awareness about gun violence in response to the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. In 2017, she graduated from Blue Point High School in Bayport, New York, where she would meet where she met Brian Laundrie. Now, from September 2017 to January 2019, she would live in Carolina Beach, North Carolina, where she would work as a hostess in a restaurant nearby Wilmington. She applied to Cape Fear Community College, but did not attend. She would begin dating Laundrie in March of 2019 and moved with him and his parents to Northport, Florida. The couple worked at Publix in Northport, where she was a pharmacy technician and he worked in the grocery department. They both quit their jobs at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. And in late September 2019, yeah, let me try that again. In late 2019 to early 2020, the couple embarked on a cross-country drive from New York to California. Along the way, they would visit Las Vegas, Yosemite, Pismo Beach, Pismo, I'm sorry if I'm butchering it up, and other places. In March 2020, but she would celebrate her 21st birthday in Nakamas, Florida, where she and Laundrie would even visit Slope Peak, Georgia, in June 2020, and the two were engaged the following month. In December 2020, she would purchase a 2012 Ford Transit Connect and convert it into a camper, and in which she would use to take her next cross country trip. To save money for the trip, she began working 50 hours a week um, at Taco Bellin as a nutritionist while Landry took a job at an organic juice bar. She would document her life and travels on social media, such as YouTube and Instagram, where she would describe her interest as art, yoga, and veggies. So, this case did spark public interest, as most of y'all know. Like, I don't know about y'all, but if every time I looked around in 2021, this case was making headlines. Like, and I'm not gonna get into the reasons why, but like, this case was like a prime example of what happens when you state when you do not get that help. But this case heightened interest was attributed to many factors, such as the refusal by Landry and his parents to comment on Petito's whereabouts. Like, if you're innocent, help them out. The amount of content on social media documenting the couple's lifestyle, the video footage from the Utah traffic stop, which don't even get me started on because that still makes me so mad to this day. The audio recording of the 911 call, the video post by witnesses, which provided a lot of publicity around the evidence, and the idea that those involved were a young and attractive couple in a romantic getaway gone wrong. The domestic violence incidents in their relationship increased interest in cross-country van drilling trips due to COVID-19. And the general increased interest of true crime related entertainment in general. So, there was speculations in this case that was linked to the murder of Kyla Charlotte and Crystal Turner, which occurred in Moab around the same time Laundrie and Petito were there. Could be a possibility. I don't know. There's something about Landry that two people went on a trip, one person returned, one person's not saying anything. Like, there's something about this case that just does not sit well. Like, anyway. Getting unbiased again. Okay. Now, the public involvement in this case included witnesses and others posting their observations and theories on social media. Protesters were demanding answers outside the Laundrie house. They even held a candlelight vigil for Gabby in her hometown, and donations to the Gabby Petito Foundation was established by her parents to support searches for other missing people. The increased interest in the search for Laundry Petito led to the discovery of 5 bodies of other missing people. While some posts on social media regarding the case were helpful, many of them were characterized as insensitive, unhelpful, motivated by potentially increased exposure or financial or outright misinformation. There was a high value media coverage on this case, and I think after 2020's we all needed something to get our interest in. Because after 2020, it's like that was the year where it just I don't know about y'all, but I remember 2020 for me. I was able to keep working, but I just needed something to get my focus back. In this case, was one of those things that I saw several times on social media. But it was cited among the most commentators and examples of missing white woman syndrome, which was defined as news media's overemphasizing missing people involving young, attractive white upper middle class women or girls compared to the relative attention toward people who go missing that do not fit that description. So, in comparing her case to others, several outlets noticed that the relative lack of media information attention toward approximately 710 Native American people who were reported missing in or near the same location from 2011 to 2020. Now, I mentioned earlier there was a lawsuit that I will talk about a little bit more later, but her parents would sue the Laundries and their attorney on November 30th, 2023. In an amended complaint claiming pain and emotional distress due to Laundries and the attorney withholding information regarding her her death. A Florida judge previously allowed the suit to proceed, and I will get to that conclusion here later on in the video. Now let's dive into the timeline of this case because we really want to just know what happened, what led to this death. Hmm, in July 2021, she and Laundrie would leave New York for what was supposed to be a 4-month trip. Cross country, visiting and camping in national parks, they planned to sleep in their van and document their travels on Instagram and YouTube. August 12th, 2021. Trying to get. This case makes me mad. This part makes me mad right here. But a disorderly conduct was stopped. And it makes me mad because the police sided with him. Like, yeah. But they should have done more to protect Gabby. Um, they protected him. But I guess that's almost all cases where domestic violence, especially if a male is involved, in some states where it's really male dominated and they're very prejudiced toward women. But that's not trying to get an argument started, but I feel like they should have done more to protect her. I feel like that. I really do. Okay, going back to trying to be unbiased. They won't, but she is talking to, so basically, a 911 call is made that day. And it was someone replacing a report of a confrontation between Gabby and Brian. And they said that Laundrie hit Gabby. Police in Mobile are dispatched to a call, and it is unclear if they knew the details of the 911 call. Police body cam footage shows her crying and upset, and they report that Petito hit Laundrie. But no arrests were made, and they were couple separated for the night. Laundrie checks into a hotel, and she stays in the van. Now, let's jump a few days ahead to August 19th, 2021, where she and Laundrie would post a video on YouTube called Van Life Beginning or Van Life Journey. And it would show pictures of them laughing and kissing, like going back to that whole incident just did not happen. Now, let's jump to August 24th, 2021, where they were seen in Salt Lake City, and they were reportedly seen leaving a hotel in Salt Lake City. On August 25th, 2021, it would be Gabby's last post. And this was not normal for Gabby. She was posting every day, of her travels and all of that. Almost every day. So, the van was spotted in Grand Teton National Park, and this is also the last day that the post was made to her Instagram account. And August 27, 2021, a non-text will be received. And according to a search warrant, her mom says that she will receive an odd text from her phone saying, "Can you help Stan? I keep getting his voicemails and his calling." Let's keep in mind, Stan is Gabby's grandpa, but her mother says Gabby never referred to him by his first name. Her mother said it was out of character and very concerning. On August 29, 2021, there was hitchhiking claims for Miranda Baker would post on her TikTok claiming that she picked up Laundrie, who was hitchhiking alone. August 30th, 2021, another text, and her mom said she would receive a text from Gabby's phone where she wouldn't comment on something it said about some reportedly no service in Yosemite. Let's drop to September 1st now, where Brian would return home to Northport where he lived with Gabby, but he was alone. Two people went on a trip, one person came back. You see why it's like no, you're not commenting, you're not showing any emotion. Like, yeah. And on September 11, 2021, she was reported missing by her mom and her stepdad. Also that day, Nicole Smith, her mom, would file a missing persons report in Suffolk County, New York. And Gabby's mom would also file a missing persons report as as well. I think I just said that. Anyway, September 13, 2021. Here comes the question. Where is Brian? Where has he disappeared off to? Well, his parents would tell police that he left the family home for a hike in the Carlton Reserve in Sarasota County. Not a smart move to make, especially if you know you're going to be a person of if you know you're a person of interest. September 14, 2021. Brian Laundrie's family issues a statement through their lawyer saying that they intend to remain in the background while the search for Gabby is underway. They know it. They know it, but they're protecting him. But Matteo's family issues a statement accusing the Laundries of refusing to tell them when he last saw Gabby. September 15, 2021, a person of interest. With the Northport police saying that Laundrie is refusing to cooperate and they named him a person of interest in her disappearance. September 16, 2021, a plea for help would be issued by Joe Petito as he appeals to the public to come forward with any information they can to investigators. September 18th, there will be a search for Brian. Members of the Northport police gathered to search for Brian Laundrie. And according to the Northport Police Department, the search will begin in the 24,000-acre Carlton Reserve. His parents say that they were headed the last time they saw him. Saw him. September 19, 2021, remains were found, and authorities say that they found remains in the Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming, where the van was previously spotted. September 20th, 2021, the FBI would raid and execute a search warrant on the Laundrie home, seizing his car and a hard drive that may contain evidence as that a felony may have been committed. September 21st, 2021. A coroner would confirm that the remains were found in Wyoming to be Gabby, and the initial manner of death is homicide. The FBI announced that they would take over as a criminal investigation, and authorities continue to search for Laundrie in the Carlton Reserve. September 23rd, 2021, an arrest warrant is issued, and the federal court of Wyoming issues an arrest warrant for Laundrie, as he is charged with the unauthorized use of a debit card for unauthorized withdrawals of more than $1,000. September 24th, 2021, they will hold a vigil for Gabby in her hometown of Blue Point, New York. September 25th, 2021, her father announces the creation of a foundation called Helping Others, which would help people in similar situations to Gabby to provide resources and guidance to parents searching for missing children. I can't imagine what this family is going through. I can't. September 26, 2021, over 1,000 people would attend a public memorial service in Long Island, and the service would also be streamed online. September 2028, 2021. I lost my spot, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, back to it. But her family and their attorney would thank law enforcement on Tuesday and urge Laundrie to turn himself into authorities. October 6, 2021, Laundrie's travels in August and flew across country to visit his parents' home in Florida in a trip with Gabby. According to Laundrie's family's lawyer, Stephen Bertolini, the attorney says Laundrie flew home in August 17th to return to Utah. In August 23rd, 4 days before Gabby was last seen, he flew to Florida to get some supplies from a storage unit to save money. Very interesting. On October 12, 2021, the coroner would say that she died of strangulation, and Dr. Brent Blue said that the manner of death is still considered a homicide, backing the initial autopsy results that were released that month, a month before. So her body was found outside for 3 to 4 weeks before it was discovered. Blue said that he declined to answer on where Petito is believed to have died on the location where she was found or where her body was buried. On October 20th of 2021, the FBI would confirm that the authorities had found what appears to be human remains at the site while searching for Brian Laundrie, with Special Agent Michael McPherson also says authorities also found items, including a backpack and a notebook, that they believed to belong to Laundrie and suspected him human remains to be that were previously underwater. I don't buy it. I'm sorry, I can't buy it. I can't. October 21st, 2021, his remains are identified. So January 21st, 2022, Brian Laundrie claimed responsibility for Gabby Petito's death in his notebook, and this was in the final report of the investigation into her death. What I don't get is how did the dad know exactly where to go? Like how? March 11, 2022, Gabby Petito's family will sue Brian Laundrie's parents, and the parents of Gabby Petito claimed in the Florida lawsuit. March 30th, 2022, his parents were moved to dismiss the lawsuit, but the judge would deny it. June 30th, 2022, the lawsuit would move forward, and the Florida judge would deny the motion to dismiss, and the lawsuit was allowed to move forward. August 8, 2022, her family files $50 million wrong for death lawsuit against the Utah police. That lawsuit filed to attorneys representing Joseph and Tara Petito. And they would name the Moab Police Department 3 of its officers, Palmer, Pratt, and Daniel Robbins, and 10 other defendants accused of negligent failure. Now, the police cameras provided by Moab Police show that Gabby was talking to the police officer after being pulled over. Now, January 12, 2021, there would be reports that would indicate unintentional mistakes by Moab officers. Okay, how's that unintentional? Like, sorry. This case just really makes me mad right here. Her life was taken way too soon. June 24th, 2022, details of Laundrie's notebook would be released. So, in November 3rd, 2022, her parents would sue Moab police, and the parents would officially file a lawsuit against the city police department as well. November 17, 2022, her parents were awarded $3 million in a wrongful death lawsuit. A judge would go on to say the Petito family lost their daughter, and they were also denied the opportunity to confront her killer. No amount of money is sufficient. That's like like what happened to Gabby could happen to anyone. That's the sad part right there. Like we need to take the steps to learn to help someone in that situation. But don't be afraid to help someone. Do not do better than what the Mohead police did. Because obviously that could have prevented a life from being taken way too soon. That's it for today's episode. I will see y'all next time. Y'all have a great day.